Hey guys, welcome back to HPI. Doing a long overdue video. Completed this car probably 2 months ago now. We've been so busy, I haven't had time to do a kind of a final video of the car. So today we're going to go over kind of everything that we did, the whole process, the stuff I enjoyed about the project, the stuff I didn't enjoy about the project. This car's actually for sale now. We'll go over some of the details on that. So we'll start from the top. I got this car. It was a 2008 with right at 81,000 miles on it. Had some F1 problems. Actuator was leaking, pump was having some issues. It was stuck in neutral, wasn't got out of gear. The clutch was kind of smoked. So bought the car. It's actually a clean Carfax car. It has one minor on it. The previous owner has everything logged from the roads he took, the gas, the amount of money he put in gas, the miles on per tank. It's actually a really well taken care of car. The guy daily drove it up in West Virginia for many, many years. There was a lot of cosmetic issues with the car. Mainly with the interior was pretty bad, the top was bad. So I fixed the majority of them. So we'll start at kind of the front. Of course, the car is wrapped in an army green. I wanted something different, something that contrasted. You know, I went off of the yellow on the Ferrari badges. I always think yellow and a green go together really well. So that's what made me gravitate towards the green. And I just haven't really seen one done this color yet. So the car is wrapped in army green. The paint underneath it, people have been asking about it. It's not great. It's flaking off in a few spots where you can tell underneath the wrap. The front bumper's primered, side skirts are primered. The rear bumper, the whole rear end's off a challenge car, so it's kind of splotchy paint that's been repaired in the past. The clamshell I replaced it is blue, so the color underneath the car is kind of, you know, it's all over the place. It's, you know, if you were to buy this car, you're not buying it for the pristine color underneath the car. It's just not the case with this one. So, you know, simple stuff. You know, did the yellow tint on the headlights. It's kind of a, you know, a throwback to the challenge cars, the GT cars. I've always loved that, you know, offset look. Could not source an OEM Scuderia front bumper, so I went with the Darwin Pro Scuderia replica bumper. It fits okay. I like for it to fit a lot better, but, you know, overall, you know, main issues is, you know, gaps on this side, but it's not terrible. Side skirt is also the Darwin Scuderia style. They actually fit pretty well. You have to re-drill the holes that come, it doesn't come with holes, period. And the holes in the factory side skirt do not match up with this side skirt. So you kind of have to put it up there, do your markings, drill it out, and then bolt it up. And that's upper and lower. Wheels, this was a predicament, as you guys remember. I really wanted the look of the brake filling up the whole face of the wheel. So I've always been a BBS fan. LMRs is one of the most classic wheels ever, I believe. So we decided to go with a BBS LMR base and then do custom barrels, lips, pretty much the whole entire thing. So we got them built. We had to run a massive spacer up front. I think it's a 25 mil. Got the wheels in, everything was great. Went to put the wheels on. The face hit the caliper again. So then I had to add a 5mm spacer behind it. So it's got quite a bit of spacer, but I'm running the, I believe, 90mm stud kit. So there's still plenty of threads and everything's safe the way it should be. The main hassle with this car was the wheels for sure. The 430, there's not many options out there if you want to get a really aggressive look like I wanted. So, you know, you have to build it, you know, and instead of wheels like this, the wheels being built, the Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires, you're looking at roughly around $10,000 just in the wheels on this car. So that was a big chunk of the budget for sure. Did have to replace, so the top is still not working. It needs the rams rebuilt or just new rams in general. I don't have the time anymore to kind of finish that up. So the top still needs to be fixed. Rams, and then the vinyl in the rear of the glass has a tear through it. So I'm just running with the top down all the time. So that is one of the things I did not fix with the car. The clamshell was broken, it was separating. I did replace that because it kept the car, the engine bay cover was hitting it as you opened it. So that has been repaired, and it's pretty much a brand new clamshell. The rear of the car, of course, is where I spent most of the time at wanting to get it perfect. Scuderia style is awesome, but it's been done. There's one other guy out there that has a white 430 with a challenge style, and there's no convertibles out there or Spyders with a challenge style. So grille, bumper, diffuser, exhaust part of the grille, Ferrari emblem, every single piece of this rear end is OEM Ferrari sourced. Extremely hard to find. You can find the ones on the replicas of this on eBay that are carbon fiber, but a kind of a telltale sign is if this grille part right here does not have this cutout for the air jacks, it's not OEM. So everything on there is OEM, even down to the mesh screens right here. I had to source those OEM. The last one in the country that I could find for the exhaust grill, I bought it. That exhaust grill alone was like $1,800. I think in the total rear of the car, it was right around $10,000 to source everything and get it properly OEM Ferrari like I wanted it to be. The bumper does have, you know, some cracking through here. As you can see, I think it's not great. That is because it came off of a factory challenge car. It's not perfect. I don't care for it to be perfect. It is what it is. Down here is where the factory challenge tow hook goes. I have that. I haven't installed it because the way it installs is around the air jack. I don't want to fork out the money for the air jack system. I found a guy that had a system. It was about $4,000. Not worth it to me to do it. If I was going to keep the car long term, I'd probably do it just for the cool factor. But that does come with the car when I do so. Got the Capristo Challenge exhaust from the headers back. I think this was one of the last Capristo exhausts they had. They're not making them anymore. So I was able to snag that brand new. I think it was like 2,500 bucks. Fab speed headers, they're around, well, I can't remember, $3,000, something like that for the fab speed headers. And I had the intake powder coated, and then my powder coat guys are awesome. I actually did the Ferrari symbol with the yellow and the black horse, which I thought was really, really cool little detail. The valve covers powder coated because they flake is pretty common. Replaced the gaskets on there, and then had the oil tank powder coated black like the factory. Really common for those to flake off as well. You can kind of get a good shot with this car that has no muffler here. You can see the manual actuator and all that stuff back here. But pretty much stock besides exhaust and a tune, of course. Interior of the car had a whole bunch of stuff going on with it. I mean, there was duct tape kind of holding this all together. I mean, it came pretty much everywhere. Basically what I did was just yank everything out, clean everything up, replace the bolts that needed to be replaced, and then they had a Pioneer head unit in it with a rat's nest full of wires. So the car came with a factory radio separately, so I took all those wires out, took the radio out, took the Sirius XM, the Escort, that had like a smart F1 system, had a whole bunch of stuff wired back there. I just took all the wires out, rewired everything. So I wired the factory radio back up. It does work like it should. I don't really care about having Bluetooth and all that stuff. I'm listening to the exhaust, I'm enjoying the sound of it. It shifts smoothly, it's perfect like it should be. There's no crazy warning lights, it's all good. Manual conversion for these cars is around $35,000. Most important mod for these cars. I tell people, you know, we convert these cars and sell them, convert for customers. I tell people all the time, just drive one. It's the way the car should have came. The car is completely transformed. You know, this red one behind me, I just got to convert in that car. It's the best $35,000 you'll ever spend in your life. It completely transforms the car. If you were to buy a factory gated car, you're looking at, you know, now they're bringing 300,000. You can buy a 430 for, you know, 130, do a manual swap, you're in the car 160. The value of that car is already up. The enjoyment of the car is already up. I mean, it's insane. I can't talk about enough how much it changes, and we'll do a quick drive so you can kind of see it all working. And then that's pretty much it for the interior. Nothing crazy. I like factory, I like clean. We did kind of, like I said before, the previous owner was pretty meticulous about keeping tabs on everything. So the car does come with a lot of factory stuff that's missing on most of these cars. You know, I have the factory toolkit, factory manuals, factory inflator, the radio that came with it when I bought the car, all the manuals, factory car cover, seat cover, steering wheel cover. This is a whole bunch of just repair bills from when he had it. Mechanically, it's pretty sound. There is a, you know, being pretty transparent on this car because I want the person buying it to know what they're buying. There is an oil leak. I believe it's coming from where the transmission bolts up to the gearbox. There's a tube there. The O-ring there, I think might have got pinched, something like that. So there's an oil leak coming from there. The rear main seal has been replaced. The clutch has been replaced. All that stuff's been replaced. So I think that's the only thing that might be an issue. So there's that oil leak. The top still needs to be fixed if you want to. But the car is priced at the cheapest manual 430 you'll ever see on the planet. And yes, it has miles on it, but the car is mechanically sound. It's a solid car. It's got a lot of, you know, really expensive quality parts. You know, like I said, between the wheels and the rear and the alone is 20,000. Manual conversion is another 35, so there's 55,000 right there, just in those few little chunks. That's not counting the labor and, you know, the clutch and everything else that goes with the car. So overall, you know, the project was pretty fun. I'm not a project car guy. I like, you know, buying cars, doing bolt-ons and be done with them. But this thing kind of came at the right time. And I was like, you know what? I haven't built a car in a very, very long time. I want to do something cool. I want to do something different. It's an enjoyable process, but it's also, you know, a stressful process, especially when you own a business that's extremely busy. Finding time to complete your own projects is extremely hard. That's one of the reasons why I'm selling this car, because I don't have enough time to fix the top, you know, fix the little issues here and there. If I were to keep it, I'd probably paint the car. So, you know, that's why I'm getting rid of it, to go to another home to enjoy it, because the car is a blast to drive. I mean, it sounds amazing, it drives amazing, it looks awesome. You know, people, you know, you don't see these cars very often, especially in this state. Question would be, would I build another 430 again? I could see myself building one. It would be, there has to be the perfect car. I'd like to have a coupe, white, red interior. So if one falls in my lap, I would do another one. I probably wouldn't go this extreme again. I keep it kind of simple, you know, manual swap it, of course, get it mechanically sound, get the body perfect. I'm just, like I said before, I'm not a project car guy. So, you know, when this thing sells, I'll probably replace it with a, you know, a new GT4 RS or a GT4 1 to 2. I do miss my other GT4, you know, every day. So for the right car, yes. With somebody, you know, do I recommend building a 430 for somebody else? If you have the tools, if you are mechanically inclined enough to do these cars, sure. If you don't, it can get expensive really, really quickly. The parts are not cheap for this car. They're not easy to find. You have to really know what you're doing, know where to look. I'm selling this car at, you know, right at 120. It's a steal. You know, there's one right there. It's manual swapped, pretty much all factory, that we're selling for 220. So this is literally $100,000 cheaper, and it's mainly because there are a couple issues left on it, and it does have miles on it. But you know, bang for buck, you know, you'll never find another manual 430 for anywhere close to this price range. So guys, that's it for the 430. This is probably my last video on the car. There's a link in the description below that has the photos, the listing, all that stuff on there. If you have any questions about the car, feel free to reach out to me, ask me any questions. I appreciate you guys following this series. I'm sorry for the long wait for this to be shown, but we really appreciate your support on this channel, and please like and subscribe.